Hello everyone. It is Jackie with Pocket of Preschool, and I am so excited you're here with me tonight on this fabulous Wednesday evening, or if you're watching the replay, whatever night it is for you there. So I don't know if you can tell by my Christmas sweater and behind me, but tonight we are going to talk all about a Christmas theme in your classroom, and I'm going to give you tons of ideas and some freebies to kind of help you out and get you guys inspired. So really quick, in the comments, I want you to tell me, do you do a Christmas theme in your classroom, or do you do a gingerbread thing because you're not allowed to do holidays, or do you do more of a kind of holidays around the world? So yeah, so kind of let us know in the comments kind of what you do in your classroom, just so we can all get to know each other a little better. And then really quick, in the top are some links for you guys. So there's a link to my Teachers Pay Teachers store. So if there's anything you see you want to grab, do that. There's also a link to the freebies at the top of this post. So make sure you grab those after we are together tonight here. And then there's also a couple of other things, like there's an Amazon list of my favorite things on Amazon that I might reference and things like that. And an old Facebook, previous Facebook videos, and oh, the group is up there and the newsletter sign is up there. So yeah, all kinds of goodness. Just like we do every week, I'm gonna flip it around and I'm gonna walk around the classroom, kind of show you what we're doing in the classroom, and then we'll ask questions, and if I don't answer your question, pop it in again to make sure I get it. All right, let's get started. So I know a lot of you, the first thing you guys think of when you think of a Christmas theme are the presents for the parents and the family. So this year, I am doing these handprint towels, and you guys, my handprint towels are not Pinterest perfect. Like the first day we do their handprint, and these towels you can get at Walmart in like a 6-pack, and they're pretty inexpensive. And then so the first day we do everybody's hand in green, and my big trick is after they do their handprint, I give them a baby wipe so they get a lot of the paint off. You can see there was some from today, and then they wipe it off with the baby wipe, and then they go to the sink. So they get most of it off at the table with me before they walk around the room with permanent paint on their hands. And I just use this acrylic paint, and it washes just fine. It's a little hard and kind of prickly until they wash it, but it washes just fine. And then here is one of the finished towels. So you can see we do the thumbprint for the trunk and a thumbprint for the star. And then they actually do their own ornaments, which are just their fingertips on the tree. And you can see each one is different, and it is definitely not made by me. It is their hand, and it's something their parents will treasure, and they love it. And yeah, and I keep it all on this tray. You can see I had a friend absent, and so that way I can just pop my tray on the table, go crazy, making it, and we are good to go. And then last year, so some kids I have for 2 years in a row, so I try and not do the same thing every year. So last year we did these stained glass pictures. This one a 3-year-old made, and if you hop over to my blog, I have a whole tutorial on them. But basically, this is a frame from the dollar store. They trace a Christmas tree, or you can have them draw it with Sharpie, and then they flip it over and paint the other side. So the side you see is the Sharpie side, and then the side that has the behind it, kind of like that's the back, is the painted side, so that way you can see their picture. And then so here is my own kiddos in my class. So here was his from last year when he was 3, and then this is actually a kindergartner's because my other little guy wanted to do one too. So yeah, and then I just put foil in the background. So yeah. Oh, somebody's asking about the towel. So yeah, I just took a piece of paper, and it's like copy paper, and I just folded it in half. That way it wouldn't bleed through. So yeah, so super simple. And then when I do it, I actually lay the towel out flat like that. And then I keep it folded inside so it doesn't move. That way when I move him to a different spot in the classroom to let him dry, I'm not really kind of moving the paint a lot. So that I have them laying on the table like this, and then I just put that underneath, and then I move it somewhere to dry. So yeah. So thanks, Christina, for asking that question. And then cards. So my cards, again, they're not Pinterest perfect. And actually, if you hop over to my blog, I have a whole blog post on some Christmas hacks for the classroom. And my cards, my kiddos make. So there's actually, there's a printable that they copy. So you can see this is definitely, these are some pre-K friends. And then here are a couple of 3-year-olds. So there, you can definitely, if you really look at that writing, you can see Merry Christmas. And if you look at this 3-year-old, it's in there. It just looks a little different. And they're cards made by them. And the Merry Christmas printable I use is that freebie when you sign up for my newsletter that is always in my library center. And I will pop the link in there. And yeah, so the first day they copy the word and then they use tape because they love tape. And then they write their name on the inside. And then the second day I actually divide them up. So I'll have my pre-K friends in one group, first small group, and my 3-year-olds in another. And the 3-year-olds, they're just gonna kind of scribble write on the inside. And then my pre-K friends, if they want to write mom and dad a message, I can kind of help them sound spell with that. Or if they want to draw on the inside, or maybe they want to write mom and dad, that way I can differentiate for each kiddo. And then again, I toss all of it in here, and that way we are good to go. And I am prepped and ready for tomorrow. So yeah, so Christmas presents, always stressful, but they always turn out so cute in the end. And I will say as a mom, I do love getting out presents from the year before and from when they were little. I love it. And so I love doing it for my families too, but mine definitely are not the Pinterest perfect present. I feel like you have to do, even though like I share them on my Facebook page, I never do any of those Pinterest perfect looking crafts where it's me doing almost all of the work because, because I just, one, I don't have the time, and two, I want the kids to make it or it to be their hand. So yeah, so don't feel like you have to be Pinterest perfect for Christmas because the parent will love any ornament that the kiddo makes, and if it's a hot mess and it's a scribble, it's because they're little, and it's supposed to be a hot mess when they're little because that's where they're at developmentally. So I'm gonna flip it around and we'll keep going. So, another fun thing to put in the sensory table or just to kind of have as like a cutting tray is to just take some Christmas paper and some ribbon. You can put it in a box. This is from a Melissa and Doug toy. I love Melissa and Doug toys, and I love they all come in these pretty boxes. But you can just have it a cutting box, or you can put it in the sensory table. It's kind of totally up to you, or you can have it as an art project where they actually cut out the things on the wrapping paper, and then they can glue it and make a picture. So that's a fun idea for Christmas. And then we actually do, and somebody's asking if we do Christmas parties, and I do. And I can share about that at the end. But last year during our Christmas party, and you can also do this during a center, you can make, we always use pipe cleaners, but you can definitely use string. But we just do little bracelets, and they cut the straws themselves. And then actually, if you want to find these like candy cane ones, they're in the Walmart party section. I actually grabbed another bag the other day. And usually the red and green ones you can find at the Dollar Tree, but they just string them on a pipe cleaner. They can make a pattern if they're older, or if they're 3, you know, just stringing is good enough. Or if they're in kindergarten, you can have them count and put on a pattern on too. It's totally up to you. But yeah, so a really great fine motor activity, something they can take home. And we actually did this at our Christmas party, so yeah. And then I will show you our Christmas tree. So here is my class Christmas tree. And actually I got it one year at Target, like at the end of the season for like 70% off. So it's just a cheapo Target tree. And you can definitely tell the kiddos for sure decorated it. Because wait till you see this side. Yep, kiddos decorated it for sure. And they can undecorate it and redecorate it again as much as they want. We made these candy cane ornaments for table time on Monday. Or no, sorry, Friday. They were really excited about Christmas. So, or maybe we did it Monday. I can't remember. Anyways, but my older kiddos made patterns. So some of them did AB patterns or ABC patterns. And then my 3-year-olds just kind of did them randomly on. So it was just more of a fine motor activity for them. And I'll tell you a trick with the ornaments. If you are having your kiddos do them, this is that plastic craft string. So I put all my ornaments and I put them on this plastic craft string. That way they can put them on easily and they can take them off. But yeah, so that way I don't have any hooks. I definitely don't want pointy things in my classroom. So yeah, just put some of that plastic craft string around your ornaments. That way you don't have to deal with hooks. And they can easily put them on and off and make sure they are not breakable because they will drop them. And you can tell I have a stool by it, so that way they wanted to decorate the higher parts. So they went ahead and did that too. So yeah, and they decorated again and undecorated. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna show you some fun art stuff. All right, so here is the Christmas beads I used. I got them from Michael's for the candy canes. And then some of them have been made more during art. So I just have it out as an art choice. And these little trays are from the dollar store. So yeah, so that's a great little kind of Christmassy tray. And then you can also do Christmas wish lists, which are great for cutting. And this is my art shelf for this week. So these are their art kind of choices this week. We did this for table time this week. And I just grab a whole bunch of these Target, or you can tell some of them are from last year, and Walmart. And basically they cut out ads, and what we do is I have them literally tear out this whole page. I probably can't do it one-handed, but obviously I would help them so it's not cut in half. But tear out the whole page and then cut it out, and then they can put it on their wish list. Because if you have reluctant cutters, trust me, or kiddos who do not like to cut, they are going to want to cut toys out for their Christmas wish list. And you can see, again, I have loop scissors in here, and that bounce back open. So that way my little 3-year-olds can even do it. And my 3-year-olds, do they cut off some of the heads on the superheroes or cut off the bikes or the tires on the bikes? They absolutely do. But that is okay because they're still learning. Cutting magazines is actually really hard. I'll kind of show you what they look like. So here are some of them. So you can definitely tell a pre-K friend and a 3-year-old. But yeah, so I just hung them up here, and they are loving life. So you can definitely tell which kiddos are older and which ones are younger, but they loved it, and some of them did a couple. Like you can tell this little friend did many, and he was very excited about cutting. So, and then the other art project I have out this week are these bow, just like a bow smash painting. And yeah, after it's dry, we just stick a bow on it. Only 2 of my friends picked to do it this week, and that's okay with me. The tree plates are from Walmart, and I know okay, so this tree plate is from Walmart. That one is the Dollar Tree. So all I do is I put some gold, green, and red paint in a tray. And then I stuck I need to tape it, but I just kind of like stuck it together, the little like taggy part, and then they can stomp it in the paint, and then they can stomp it on the paper. And then I have the giant paper right here that they can use for this project. So we'll just kind of put this on the table, and then they'll grab their paper, and then they can go to town. And my trick, because we had this out on Monday, is what I do is I literally take this whole tray and I put saran wrap around it. That way, all I have to do, like this morning, all I did before school was take the saran wrap off the tray, and my paint is ready to go, and my art project is ready to go. It's a little bit dried on the edges. You can totally see that, but all you gotta do is squirt a little bit more paint in, and it's totally fine. Totally fine. Because trust me, your kiddos aren't going to know that there's 2-day-old paint in there if you put new ones over the top. It's totally fine, and just soak it at the end of the week for like an hour, and it comes off. And then you don't have to wash it at the end of every day. I'm all about less work in the art center. And then this is another fun one. I do love cutting collages. We did this last year, so we're probably not going to do this one this year, but here's the sample I had. And this is in my Christmas centers pack. All I did was cut up some scrapbook paper, and I love getting holidays or like themed scrapbook paper for cutting collages, and you can usually get it at Michael's pretty cheap. And they cut the tree out, or you can cut it out. It's if you have like toddlers or something, or 3s, you can cut it out, or if you think your kiddos can do it and not get super frustrated, totally let them do it, because it's okay if the points are cut off. Crafts don't have to look perfect at all. Like it needs to look like the kiddos made them. And if you have to tape, put some Scotch tape and tape it back together, that's totally fine too. But yeah, but then they just cut, and do a little collage. And these make a really adorable bulletin board. You can also do, oh, I forgot to get it out. So the other freebie on my blog is, I totally forgot to get it out. I wonder if I have a picture of it. Hold on. Here it is. Okay, so these are my pictures from my blog post to help me remember things. So if you go on my blog, you'll also get this candy cane pattern printable, and you can make it into an art activity by having them make the pattern with art paint. And if they need more help, put out some counting, those connecting cubes next to the art activity, and have them make their pattern with counting cubes first, and then they can paint their pattern if they need a little bit of extra support. And I got this out because we have been so busy this week, we haven't gotten out our Christmas Play-Doh tray. So usually I just have green and red Play-Doh, and then I put out some mini erasers. And I love Christmas because there's always those like mini Christmas cookies, cookie cutters, and there's big ones. And don't forget to put out scissors with your Play-Doh. It's so fun to cut scissors. All right, so here's a fun take on spin art. So if you don't know what spin art is, it's basically you take a salad spinner and you put a piece of paper in and you squirt some paint in, or the kiddos do. And these little guys are from Discount School Supply. I actually had some in my full day classroom, and then I finally bought some this year for my new classroom. So yeah, so I love these because they don't squirt out a ton, but it lets the kiddos do it, and obviously if it runs out, it doesn't hold as much paint too. But you squirt some paint in there, and then, oh, that one's closed, sorry. And it's just like a glue clamp, they twist it off. And then, so this salad spinner is clear. It's from IKEA, so they can kind of watch it spin. I was hoping I could do it for you one-handed. Let's see if I can do it one-handed. Hold on. I might have to like prep the phone a little bit here. Let's see if we can do this. It won't be like the full effect, because obviously the kids would be spinning it. Walmart has salad spinners too, so you can kind of get the idea. But they spin it, going around and around and around. And then when they pull it out, it looks like this. And guess what? If you put a little piece of ribbon on the back, look, you have ornaments. And these would be so pretty to hang from the ceiling, or maybe if you have a ginormous Christmas tree or something, that would be pretty to paint it too. So these paint jars are from Discount School Supply. So they're about the size of my hand. So they're small, but they're awesome. I love these things. And I think you get like 12 of them in a pack. So yeah, Discount School Supply. And I just keep them in this little bucket. And there's the ribbon. Super, super simple and super fun art activity. So we're gonna keep going. I'm gonna show you some fun math and literacy. Look at all this fun stuff, guys. So I know Target has so many mini erasers right now. Some of these are from this year and some of these are from last year. So use them, guys. And I know everybody's like, oh no, I got mini erasers and I got millions of them, but what do I use them for? So these name mats are free on my TPT, and I have their name in uppercase, and then I have their name in lowercase, and I just have them in these dry erase pockets. And I have them in library because my kiddos love these. I think it's like one of their favorite things in the library center. But I basically just have them with dry erase markers. So typically they just use a dry erase marker to trace or decorate their name. But totally use these. And I love, sorry friends. I love making these at the beginning of the year because you can use them all the time. But look, just have them make their name with the mini erasers, and look at all that fine motor they're doing, friends. They're having to like move them, and don't mind my painted hands. We were doing, Christmas projects, and it stained your hands. So that way they can make their name with the mini erasers, which gives you another excuse to buy them. If you have these foam trees or foam gingerbread or foam whatever, I think I got these at the dollar store. These are great to use with mini erasers too. So you can put numbers on them, and they can either trace the number, or they can put that mini erasers on them. So they can either use it for counting, or you can trace, or they can do both. And these are great too because you can put them on the floor and they could like hop from them too, so that you could line these up in number order, and then they could kind of use them like hopscotch in the classroom. So just imagine there would be like 1, 2, 3, all the way to 10, and then once they had their number line, they could like hop. So it'd be kind of a fun hopscotch activity. And so these are great for music and movement because they don't really slide either. Because it always makes me nervous putting laminated paper on the ground and doing activities, but these kind of stick a little bit since they're foam, so it's a little bit safer. And then you can also put letters on them, and they can make the, what's it called? The letter with the mini erasers, or you can, I forgot to grab my magnet letters. You can also put out magnet letters, and then you can put out a whole bunch of these on the table for like a morning activity or a center, and they can match the magnet letters to these too. So that's another fun thing to use these for. And if they're all gone, sometimes what annoys me about holidays is they kind of put this stuff away before the holiday's over, I feel like. But, and these will be good for a tree study too, for those of you who do, who use creative curriculum. But you can match the magnet letters to them too, or letter manipulatives. That's another fun way. And then, oh, I have these out. So these are, again, the trays. And we use these pom-poms like crazy, and these are from the dollar store. You could also have them pretend these are ornaments, and they could, if you don't have mini erasers, just use pom-poms for these too. And Michael's always has these on super duper clearance after the holiday too. So if you don't have any this year, grab them for next year, and then just put them in your holiday bucket. So another fun thing to do with mini erasers is to do patterns. This printable pattern game is in my Christmas Centers pack on TPT, and it comes with little printable patterns, so that way they can make different patterns, like A, B, B, and then there's blank ones, so they can make their own with the mini erasers, so they fit perfectly in there. Or you can just use the printable ones. So make patterns with them. It's another fun way to use all those holiday mini erasers that we have. And you can also, I'm gonna skip over here, but this elf letter dot it is in my Christmas Centers pack. So you can also use them for like game board pieces. So like, let's say they pick the letter Z, and if you don't, this is great if you don't wanna use these as a worksheet. Where's the letter Z? Oh, there it is. They can use them as cover-up boards, or cover-up or counters for your literacy games too. So mini erasers are not just for math. They're also great for literacy. And it makes letter games a lot more fun when you're covering them up with mini erasers. And again, if you don't have mini erasers, use sparkly pom-poms, because how much more fun is that than just, you know, Xing it off or coloring it. And again, these are in my Christmas Centers pack. And then you have to write letters to Santa for a Christmas theme. And these, again, this printable paper is in my Christmas Centers pack. So I'll show you 3 more games from my Centers pack, and then I'll show you some fun books. My throat is so dry today. So this math game is a measurement and then a size match. So what they do is they measure how big the toy is with the ornament ruler. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's 9 big. And then they would have to find the matching present. So there's all different sizes. So they would have to be like, oh, nope, that's too small. Oh, that one is too small. I think it's this one. And then that one is just right. So that way they have to count and measure how big their present is, and then they have to wrap it up. So another fun game. And then this is a fun take on the gingerbread man. So you just glue the gingerbread man to a clothespin, and they roll the dice, and 1, 2, 3. So they would go 1, 2, 3. So this is a great game to teach counting on. And then oh, my little guy fell off. I'll have to hot glue him back on. But they can race, and then they would count on. So let's say it's that person's game again, or turn again. So they would have to count on. So 3, and then they would go 1, 2, 3. So 3 plus 3 is 6. Now I don't do that with my preschoolers. They just add on 3. But if you are in kinder, you can talk about, okay, so you have 3 plus 3 is, and you have to talk about how you go 3, 4, 5, 6, and talk about counting on. Because counting on is kind of a hard skill to do, I think. for kiddos. And then this is a beginning sound game. So you just grab a letter manipulative and then they have to put the correct letter manipulative in the present. So car, and they would just put a magnet letter C, or they can write it with a dry erase marker. It's up to you. And again, all these printables in my Teachers Pay Teacher store in my Christmas Centers pack. So let me show you some fun Christmas books. So I love books, y'all know that. So this one, I think this one is super cute. It's like 12 Days of Christmas, or the 12 Trucks of Christmas. And I want to say Scholastic this year has the 12 Trains of Christmas. We have that one too. But it's a great counting book, especially for your little ladies and gentlemen who love trucks. And it's a songbook. So like on the 5th day of Christmas, Santa gave to me 5 garbage trucks, 4, and then you just keep going. So yeah, so it's a great counting book. I'm talking about all different trucks because kiddos love trucks. But it's a really fun take on a traditional Christmas song. And then if you're looking for some holiday around the world books, these National Geographic Kids are amazing. There's one on Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. Oh gosh, I'm really horrible at saying. Is it? Okay, I'm not gonna like. Okay, there's that one, and because I can never say that word. It's horrible, or I say it horribly, and I'm not gonna say a word incorrectly. So yeah, so these are awesome holiday around the world books, and there's also some for other holidays, like there is, what is it? There's like a Chinese New Year one, and it's great because it has real photographs in it, and it's super simple text, so it's perfect for kiddos who are little, and it doesn't really get into the religion part too much, more just about the traditions that go along with that holiday. And then I also love this polar animal book about reindeer. Who's it by? Hold on. A Day in the Life of Polar Animals series. And this one is a reindeer book. Oh, there you go. Katie Marcel. Y'all, I'm really horrible pronouncing names. So sorry, Katie, if I said your name wrong. So yeah, but make sure you fill these books, your holiday shelf, with some Christmas books. And again, make sure, even if you're not doing Christmas around the world, it's just really important to just have some other holidays that kiddos might celebrate or their friends might celebrate, because it's just important to build that awareness, and that everything isn't exactly how they do it in life. So just kind of building all that up. Okay, so here's our writing table. So my writing table during Christmas is packed all the time. So just throw out some Christmas writing paper, just fold some paper in half for cards. And here is the Merry Christmas thing we use to make our holiday cards. But this is a freebie when you sign up for my newsletter. And then I just take some stickers from like the dollar store and I cut them in half. That way, if a kiddo is using this and all of a sudden they use the whole thing, hopefully they'll stop and at least maybe do another piece of paper. But yeah, I just cut them in half, so it's also easier to manipulate for kiddos who haven't really figured out how to use stickers or kind of pull them off. Because I know some of my 3s, they'll be like, I can't get it, and they're pushing the sticker down instead of like peeling it. So yeah, so it's a great fine motor activity. And then you can grab these little buckets from the dollar store. So yeah, and then you can always throw out some just like cute little notepads too from the dollar store. Super fun. And then if you want to do some name writing in my Christmas Centers pack, I have these Christmas light letters. So, and here's our sand trays that we love. And if your kiddos don't like getting their hand messy, just put in a pom-pom, or they could use a candy cane to write, and they make the letter, and then they can shake to erase. And this is sand, and then this one is colored salt, and I just added some Christmas sprinkles to it. And then some of my older friends, I'm starting to, just talk about sight words. So even if they don't know the word, obviously if you're a kinder teacher, hopefully they'll start to learn some of these words, or maybe put in the words that you guys are working on. But I just want them to start building words. Even if they don't know what it is, that's okay. So they would build it with the letters, and then they would write it in the sand. So yeah, so just, you know, noticing that, okay, this is a letter, and then if you put letters together, it makes words. These sand trays are, these lacing sets from Target come in them. I wanna say these are out right now in the Christmas section. So like these come in this part, and then the like lacing part, the laces come in the top. Melissa and Doug also has them, but it's a lot cheaper when you buy them from the Target dollar spot because it's $3 a box rather than like $15 if it's Melissa and Doug. And then you get these lacing trays. So yeah, and again, you can put in all your Christmas stuff from the Target dollar spot as well. And if you want to kind of do some more Christmas writing, they can hang up the letters. And then if you have a board, they can write the letters. And writing on a vertical surface is great because it builds those shoulder muscles and it works on their core. And I've always learned that your big muscles develop before your little muscles. If they have weak shoulder muscles and a weak core, that means their fine motor muscles are gonna be weak. So what you wanna do is develop these upper arm muscles. That way, once these are strong, then the rest can get strong. So your muscles get strong from your inside and they go out. So your abs, and then you make sure these shoulder muscles are super strong, and then those finger muscles. So these develop first and then those. So don't forget about working out those shoulder muscles, and working on a vertical surface is a perfect way to do that. Or maybe you could put it at the art easel, put the Christmas light letters up, and they can paint them. That would be another fun thing for them to do. So yeah, so let me turn it around and show you something else. So these are just magnet tiles, and I'm sure you've seen this on Facebook and Pinterest. But basically they build with the magnet tiles, and as mine fall over because, you know, doing it one-handed. But then the Christmas lights stick to it. So it's a great, you can do it like with magnets, but it's a great, just fun way or a fun twist on using magnet tiles. You can also put them on the light table, and these I got from the dollar store. And I will say, these, the little bells work the best. These don't stick as well because they're bigger, I guess. These little magnets in here aren't as strong. But yeah, so yeah, put some magnets out or little jingle bells out, and they can make some Christmas castles with the jingle bells, or they can pretend they're making their neighborhood, and they can pretend these are Christmas lights. So that's fun too. Oh, I want to show you something real quick. Sorry, probably made you dizzy. Okay, so we all know it's holidays, and I'm gonna flip it. We all know the holidays get crazy and kiddos start making red choices. So it's a perfect time to talk to them again about green and red choices. So like on Monday, we read It's Christmas, David. And we talked about, I said, you know, what kind of choices, look at the cover, what kind of choices do you think he's making? And we talked about, you know, green and red choices. And as we read the book, they just gave me a thumbs up if it was a green choice, thumbs down if it was a red choice. And then, and on the page, he pees in the snow. I don't say that. I definitely change the words on that page. And I say that, oh, look, David finger painted on the wall. So I definitely change that page, because I'm not going there. So you decide what you want to say on that page, if your kids can handle it or not. My kids probably couldn't handle a peeing in the snow. So I just changed it and said that David finger painted the wall, which is still a red choice. So yeah, and you can also do it with Llama Llama Holiday Drama. That's another great book to review green and red choices. And then I literally just pull some off, and then they come up like a cup one at a time, and they have to tell me, okay, let's see, is cleaning up a green or red choice? And then they have to put it up on the green or red choice after we read the book. Gentle hands is leaving things on the floor. And maybe pull off the things your kiddos are struggling with, and pull off the things your kiddos are doing really good with. Like, oh my gosh, I'm really proud of you guys. You guys are doing great having gentle hands with your friends. So give them those compliments, and then say, oh, this one's so tricky. This one's really hard for me. I always forget to pick myself up off the ground. And put the red choices on you. That way you're not saying, oh, we're doing really horrible with this, guys. This sucks. like we're not doing good. Like, just say, you know what? This one's really hard for me. Is this one hard for you? And just kind of have that conversation. But definitely don't use it as a way to be like, we're really struggling right now, guys. And it's just, this is horrible. Like, because you're just setting yourself up for failure because we're talking about how negative. So definitely if you're talking about green and red choices, put a positive spin on it and be like, oh, some of these red choices, they're really hard, but you know what? I know even if I make a red choice, I can still try again. Because that's one thing. I know some people don't love the David books because he gets a little crazy, but we talked about how at the beginning, David makes red choices and then he fixes it and he starts making green choices, which is great because you know what? Everybody doesn't make green choices all the time. And just because you start your day making red choices doesn't mean you can change your day around and start making green choices. And I think that's a great lesson for kiddos because and adults, right? Just because the start of your day was horrible doesn't mean the rest of your day has to be horrible. Give yourself a minute, calm it down, or just a minute to yourself, and then you can fix it and make green choices. So I think it's also a great kind of little story or a little teachable moment about green and red choices and how the beginning of our day doesn't always, set the mood for the rest of the day. You can always change it. So I'm gonna turn it around and show you some more goodness. All right, ready? So in my sensory table, I have oatmeal. And I actually just added the letters and mini erasers today, which is why it still looks pretty. But I also put their name cards up here on this hook. So I'm hoping that some of my kiddos will get their name card out and make their little Christmas cake. And then maybe they'll try and find the letters in their name and kind of make their cupcake like that. Or maybe they're just gonna put it on top and maybe they'll just have a conversation about letters. And then these little letters I got at the Target dollar spot, I know Dollar Tree has them. They're just those itty bitty tiny magnets. And I wanna say this is 3 big containers of oatmeal. Actually, I bought it last year, but yeah. And then the little cups are from the dollar store, so they can measure and count and talk about which one is more, which one is less, all of that great math stuff. And then I put in, cookie cutters are fun to put in, but I did add names because they're really, really loving and talking about each other's names right now and the letters. And yeah, and oatmeal, it is messy to clean up, but y'all, it's Christmas, it's the holidays. They need something they can literally dive their hands in and just totally go crazy. So on Friday, they took out, I forgot, we had the shapes in there. So that I had foam shapes and then I had shape manipulatives. So we, at the end of the day, they sorted out the shapes and put them back in the containers for me. And I said, oh, once we get this done, I'll put oatmeal in the sensory table. And I literally, guys, I just had the oatmeal. No tools, no toys. And y'all, they were elbows in. All the way diving in. They were down to their elbows. Some of them were shoulders in. And I'm like, okay, so we need some sensory right now. But yeah, so they played in that oatmeal. And instead of doing an ending table time, they just played in the oatmeal until their moms and dads got here. And some of them played in that for 20 minutes with no tools and no toys. Just oatmeal and their hands and their friends. That's it. And it was all over. All over. But it's okay because they needed it at that moment. And they weren't doing it on purpose. They weren't getting it out of the table on purpose. But but yeah, I think sometimes we put so much stuff in the sensory table that you can't get to the sensory things. And I think sometimes if we put big things in, you really can't, the sensory experience, you want them to be able to pour and dump. And when you put too many things in the sensory table and go crazy, they can't pour and dump because there's too much big stuff in the way. I don't know if you've ever seen kiddos when they put all the tools and all the big stuff, they'll put it to the edge or to the one side of the sensory table because they're like, I just want to play in the oatmeal. And so I moved all the tools out of the way. And that's totally fine. And that's usually a tip for me and goes, okay, I put too much stuff in here. I'm going to take some out because if they're moving it out of the way, they don't want all that stuff in there. So yeah. And Somebody's asking me how I store my center table and about my center table. I have a blog post all about it. So my husband made it with PVC pipe, and this is just a container from Lowe's. And then I have the brooms and buckets underneath, so that way they can help clean up some of it. And then I have the square on the ground, so that way they have kind of a visual place to sweep the oatmeal to. And then my kiddos today were loving this counting reindeer puzzle. So it was Santa, and then he has to, obviously this is not the right number, but they have to match up Santa and with his reindeer. And if you have littler friends, just put out numbers 1 to 10. You don't ever have to put out all the pieces to a puzzle. And then we have our Christmas stew, which they are loving. So they count out each thing, they put it in their bowl, and then they stir it, and then they mix it back up again. So this is a really, really fun one because it's got bows and ornaments and candy canes, and the candy canes are from the dollar store. Everybody always asks how I made my trees. I cut up a wreath. Like I bought like one of those little itty bitty wreaths from like Michael's, and then I cut it up. These would be really fun in the sensory table too. And then another fun thing for if you have mini erasers, which you can tell we have a lot. Just grab some of those. These are like egg cartons from, I think, like plastic eggs. I just put sticker dots in the bottom, and they, I just put numbers in so that way they can count, or I did just put out the empty ones too, so that way if they want to sort them, they can do that. Because sometimes if you just leave it open-ended, they'll do really cool stuff too. And then this is our Christmas tree count. Again, another printable from my blog. My little guys use 1 dice, and then they count out that number and put them on the tree. My older friends, which is my pre-K friends, they roll 2 dice, and then they're like, 3 plus 2, and then they count all the dots. And then they have 5, so that way they put on 5. So that way my little guys are just counting, and my big guys are adding. Alrighty. And then for science, I have 5 senses things. And I didn't put Christmassy 5 senses things in. I just left it with the typical 5 senses things in, because they are still, actually, they're loving it. And I actually didn't have time to do the touch one when I did it earlier this year. So that one's kind of a new one for us to do. And then originally I only had out the touch and the hearing, and they're like, we want the smell jars back. So then I put out the smell jars, and this is in, again, my Teachers Pay Teacher store. It's the 5 senses pack. So STEM is really fun during Christmas because the cardboard cartons were from like some Easter thing I bought, like plastic eggs or something. But you can also use just regular like styrofoam milk cartons, but I would wash them because sometimes the eggs break and then there's like egg juiciness on the carton. So if you use real egg cartons, just make sure you wash them. Okay, so I just have a whole bunch of little fun things, and yes, these are real, but listen, these are old, like a year, 2 years old, so they're hard as a rock. So even if they wanted to eat them, I don't even know if they could bite them. But I just have a whole bunch of little fun things with our STEM drawers, so that way they can build with Legos, and then they can make Santa's house or a Christmas tree, just kind of whatever they want. But yeah, so don't forget to add some fun things to the top of your STEM drawers. That way it kind of takes them to the next level. I'm going to show you the block center, and then I'll show you the bakery. So in the block center, we basically have all the same stuff, just as the STEM drawers, just kind of bigger. So like these actually were ornaments that I just cut the tops off of, and then I have some poinsettias, bows. Bows are really fun. And then these foam trees, because they like stand them up on blocks and things. These are from the Target Dollar Spot. Candy canes. And then so I put one out because I wanted, it's also a really great reminder for me to do it. So for next week, I'm going to wrap like 10 blocks in wrapping paper, or you can even put out the wrapping paper and they can do it in the block center. And then they have little fun presents that are wrapped, and it's just blocks. So this is in the STEM I Can Build pack. So somebody's asking, where do they build with the stem drawers? And I'll show you. So they take out the whole drawer because it comes out, and they'll take out that whole drawer and then they'll just put it on this table, and they just build on this table. I usually have that cleaned up, but they didn't clean it up, and I thought I could just show you instead of cleaning it up. So yeah, they just take that whole drawer out because they come out really nicely, and those drawers are from Michael's. And then they put it on the table, and then they can build nice big space. And they can always build on the floor, but with little things, they usually like to build on this table. And then these two tables are from IKEA. They're the LAC coffee tables. That's the small one, and that's the big one. All right, now, dun 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 dun, the last thing. This is our bakery. So you guys know, if you've watched before, I changed the Pretend Center to match our theme. And so it's actually gonna be a bakery for this week and next week before Christmas. So I have my Melissa and Doug stand, and I actually sometimes I take that top awning and I just leave it off. You can always take the bakery sign and print it smaller and like loop it right here too. And then I have an open and close sign. And then we have like the menu and the order here. And then I also added, these are in the bakery printable pack. But you can also use the event cards that are freebie if you don't have my bakery pack. But put out some event cards, because that way if they're like, oh, I want to order a birthday cake. And you can have the baker or the assistant, whoever you have do this, pretend to do this. They can write down happy birthday, or they can copy it. So it's just another fun way to add in some literacy. Look at all that, so fun. Okay, I will say y'all, I really want some bakery stuff. Like I want to go to the bakery because they were playing in here today, and I now want like some donuts. Okay, so we have our little bakery menu, and then so this is kind of like our display case. And you guys, my kids are so creative this year. So they were ordering from here, and then they were walking behind here like it was like a counter. So the one little girl was like right here, and then the little guy was over here going, I want this one, and they were like pointing through the shelf. Oh my God, you guys, that was the first year my kiddos have ever done that. It was just the cutest thing. I just love the way their little minds work. Like I would have never thought that. So I'll kind of go through and show you kind of how I made some of this stuff, because I don't have everything like made and bought. These are the Melissa and Doug cookies that I think are just kind of a staple if you have to buy something for dramatic play. These Melissa and Doug wooden cookies are amazing. I have the Christmas set, and my own kids must have taken them because I can't find them. This is the wooden Melissa and Doug birthday cake. These are cupcakes we made back in September with Model Magic, and we just take the dough, stick it in the cupcake pan, and then let it dry and paint it. And you can tell this one cracked and I hot glued it. So these are our cupcakes. These are pies from the Target Dollar Spot. So these are cinnamon rolls. I literally made these today because we didn't have any. And I saw somebody in our Facebook group make these. So I just took a piece of felt and I folded it in half. And then I hot glued it, and then I rolled it up with a light brown, and then this is just paint. I like drizzled white paint, washable paint, I drizzled over it. So now we have cinnamon rolls. So how fun is that? And you guys, I only used 2 big pieces of felt for this, so nothing fancy. Oh, and these trays are from the dollar store. These are awesome trays for the bakery. We use them a lot in Pretend, and you can also use them as like fancy boards for like magnet letters, if you don't want to use cookie trays. And you guys, so I made these today too. Look at these. Oh my gosh. So these are brownies. Do you know what these really are? They're a sponge. They're a sponge. I painted brown, and can you see the sequins? I put those big sequins on them, and then I painted it with glue, and now we have brownies. So much fun. They're gonna love these. I did these today. But they look real, and now I want brownies. So yeah, so these are sponges painted brown with sprinkles. Oh, and you know why it's shiny? Because I used clear glue and to I painted clear glue on the top to make the glitter sprinkle stick. And then these are bagels. I made these today too. I was busy after school today. Oh, look, there's a Magnolia. The things you find in a preschool. So these are pool noodles. Somebody in our Pocket of Preschool Facebook group used pool noodles to make donuts. And if that's you, please give yourself a shout out because you are so smart. I need to look and see who it is so I can give them credit. But I just took a pool noodle and I made cream paint. I just took a white and I added in a little bit of orange, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of brown to make cream. But look at this. We have bagels. And I love that they have the little like holes on them, kind of like a real bagel. And then these are donuts. And these are from the Target Dollar Spot. But I had so much fun making these. I think I'm gonna like have the kiddos help me paint some because then you could use it for other pretend things. But I'll let them paint it either chocolate or vanilla. And then the amazing teacher in our Facebook group, I think she made them, but she dipped them in paint and then put glitter on for sprinkles. And you guys, how cool is that? So smart. Okay, so that's my bakery shelf. So again, not a lot of it is store made. A lot of it is you can make. And some years I actually, if you buy my bakery pack, there's all printables, paper squares and circles and things. So you can have your kiddos make paper cookies, paper donuts, things like that. And then I just have boxes from the bakery. And I do cut the sides off. That way they're easier to close. And then I want to say these are like Walmart donut boxes. And then I have some bags and some plates because they have to ask the customers, do you want a box or a bag or do you want to eat it here on a plate? So it's just some nice conversation. And then our oven, which you can tell if you watched last week's or the one about shapes, this was our pizza oven. So it's a box covered in foil, painted silver. And I want to put like a shelf in, but I just haven't done it. And you guys, they don't mind. They love the oven the way it is. And then our bakery sign is in the printable pack on TPT. And these are, you guys, these cake pops look delicious. You guys, I'm really hungry. These are calendar pictures. So if you look on the back, June. So use calendar pictures to help your pretend centers come alive because it looks so inviting. And it also gives them ideas on different things they can make. Oh, the pies. So the pies, somebody's asking about these pies. These were from the Target Dollar Spot sometime this year. I have seen people make pies by, they just take you can probably look it up on Pinterest, but there are ways to make felt pies too. So that way, if you don't have these, you can make them with felt. I love felt lately. I have been loving felt. And then I have our kitchen. And then this is kind of like the baker's area. So we have the cold ingredients are in the fridge. So basically all the other stuff is out of the fridge. So there's not a ton of stuff in the fridge. All right, sorry. And then these aprons I got from the dollar store like decades ago. And then I have all the cold ingredients. So, and you guys, I put all of this stuff back in a box so I don't have to go around and find it. And what I love about doing a bakery in December is if you're already baking cookies, you're probably going to use a lot of this stuff anyways. So this is literally an empty sugar bag, an empty thing of oil, an empty cake of syrup, empty cake mixes. This is in the wrong spot. And then these are real sprinkles, and I just hot glued that top. Empty things of whipped cream. And then for spices, this is just a spice jar. I want to say it's cream of tartar because you know how much cream of tartar we use for Play-Doh. And I painted the inside and dropped the lid. Sorry guys. I just painted the inside so that way they can pretend it's whatever spice they want. And then I'll add a recipe book next week to keep it fresh. And then I just have some shaped cookie cutters. That way I can, they can be working on talking about those shapes. And then I have some plastic bowls. And then I have pans because these are a lot of those little pans I want to say I found at places like either the dollar store or like not Hobby Lobby, but like a Marshall's type place. So what they do, I'm glad I checked on this since the bag wasn't zipped. So I just made plain Play-Doh. Well, actually my assistant, Miss Jenny, made some plain Play-Doh. And they take the Play-Doh and they roll the dough and use the pans, and it makes a mess, but that's okay. If you have carpet, just take your area and put clear your shower curtains down. That way the Play-Doh does not get ground in to your carpet and your people get mad at you, because I had that happen to me one year, but I just asked for forgiveness and scrubbed the carpet with a toothbrush once it dried. It does come out, but it's not very fun to do. So yeah, so I just used plain Play-Doh. And then the bakers actually pretend to make everything. So this is actually a free printable I will add to the bakery unit later tonight. This isn't in there yet, but I will add it tonight. So if you own it, go download it again tomorrow. Not tonight, because it's not in there yet. And I'm also going to email it out to all the people on my newsletter list. So if you want this and don't have the bakery unit, make sure you sign up on the newsletter at the top of this post, and I will send it to you. So it's basically just kind of like a step-by-step instructions on how to make the cookies. But how fun is that? And that way they don't just mix the dough and make the cookies. That way they're doing all of the things in between, and that way, they roll the dough before they do the cookie cutters. So yeah, and then they can put it in the oven, because a lot of kids do not put it in the oven, and then they can decorate. And some other fun things to do, because when I taught full day, we did themes for a month. But yeah, so you can also make birthday or a confetti type Play-Doh for the bakery. So just make regular Play-Doh and then put sprinkles in it. So it's like a funfetti type dough, or you can make a cinnamon dough. So just make your basic Play-Doh and put cinnamon in it, and you're good. And don't forget, you can also make cinnamon goop. Obviously, don't put that in the pretend bakery, but don't forget about making goop for the holidays. You can make, they always have those fun, Christmas or holiday, sprinkles or table scatter. Put that in your slime. That's really fun. Or make some gingerbread slime. So yeah, and then they can cut it with scissors, or, just play with it. Have fun. So yeah, that is what we're doing for our Christmas theme. And I did show you way more than we're gonna have time to do. I just showed you just some of my favorite activities that we do. You guys have a great night, and I will see you guys next week. All right? You guys have a happy week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.